Since 2013, the Wichita Animal Action League has saved thousands of animals from euthanasia and abuse. During the pandemic and economic decline, our local animal control and area shelters have been overwhelmed with abandoned animals. During COVID, there was also a reduction in the number of spays and neuters performed on family pets, resulting in more unwanted animals in shelters and on the streets. WAAL has stepped up our operations to help reduce the strain on local resources. Our staff, foster families, and volunteers are working overtime to meet community needs. With your donations, we can be well positioned to continue our efforts for the extended period we expect animal resources in our community to be strained. Here's our fearless Executive Director, Christy Fisher, to explain more about the various programs WAAL has implemented as proactive solutions to help not only animals, but their people as well.
Our mission is to rescue animals in crisis, and that looks like lots of different things on a daily basis. Generally speaking, at any given point in time, we'll have anywhere from 200 to 400 animals in care in our foster system, and about probably 15 to 20 for our Safe Paws Alliance, which is our domestic violence and veterans program for respite fostering. Overall, probably close to about 1,500 animals a year that will pass through our doors in some capacity. And then honestly, it would be difficult for me to even give you a number on how many animals are impacted out in the community that, we don't essentially take into care. It's a huge problem, and unfortunately, because of COVID and the economy, it's getting to be a worse problem. So we spend every day, there's tons of us out in the community that are doing anything and everything that we can do to try to rescue animals in crisis. So WAAL consists of 3 main branches, and in fact, we're kind of adding programs at this point almost on a monthly basis. But our first one is going to be adoptions. So what we do is we take in animals at risk, usually in shelters, and those animals are then placed in foster homes here in our county, where they receive vetting, training, whatever they need, and then hopefully adopted out to their forever home pretty quickly. This year alone, we're looking at about just over 1,000 animals that'll be running through our adoption program this year. Our second branch is going to be our spay and neuter services. So we actually offered subsidized spay and neuter services for low-income owners in the Sedgwick County area. WAAL truly believes that being proactive about overpopulation is the only way that we're going to be able to reduce unnecessary euthanasia and also neglect in our community. Our third tier, so to speak, is community outreach. So that is comprised of our welfare teams. So we go out and respond to complaints of cruelty, neglect, abandonment, those types of things. We run a variety of different educational programs, including in elementary schools. That program's kicking off this year. So honestly, we're trying to hit every niche and do everything that we can do to come up with proactive solutions for the problems at hand. So we don't receive any municipal donations. All of our programs and activities are funded through private donors, and then also sometimes some grant money when we're able to get that. So yes, we absolutely rely on private donations.
This is Jenny Taylor and her grandson. They're making sure pet food is given to families in need.
Okay. Hi, how are you doing? I have a little helper today.
It's for Meals on Wheels' new partnership with the Wichita Animal Action League.
With our homebound seniors, they're not able to get out.
For Jenny, it's an easy way to help animals.
If I could adopt all the dogs, I would, but I can't. So I thought fostering would be the next best thing. And then this opportunity to deliver the pet food came about, and it just seemed like another great way to help. Oh my goodness, you're such a big helper.
They're doing it for animals like Bella.
Hi, sweet girl. How's her doing this morning?
A 17-year-old pug.
Bella gets soft food because she doesn't have many teeth.
We're changing not only a seniors' lives, but their pets as well.
In the aftermath of COVID, as mental illness has increased, so too have animal hoarding cases. With fewer resources available, WAAL has stepped up on a number of hoarding cases and, by doing so, given relief to our local animal control. The Wichita Animal Action League took 45 beagle mixes out of this home that had no air conditioning, and to his credit, the owner recognized the problem and worked with us to get these animals to safety. 19 were adopted from WAAL, and the others through partnerships with other rescues. All are safe today. In a different case, a family whose estranged father had died as a hoarder needed help with several pit bulls and puppies that were left behind in terrible conditions. This little guy was stuck under a bunch of junk in the garage. In yet another case, we took 21 cats and kittens from a single home. This is an older cane Corso who fell into a basement under construction on about a 100-degree day. Volunteers formed a tent, provided water, and waited for more help. The dog was lifted out on a makeshift stretcher, taken to the vet clinic, and treated for dehydration.
Bella was abandoned over a week ago by her owner in the backyard with no food or water or shelter. So we have been working with animal control for over a week to get her and her little friend up there care. And unfortunately, when we got Bella here, we discovered that Bella's collar was so tight that it actually had started to grow into her neck.
WAAL received an urgent message from the Veterinary Emergency and Specialty Hospital of Wichita when an owner who couldn't afford treatment dropped off an 8-week-old puppy who had a prolapsed eyeball. We immediately accepted her into care, and she had her damaged eye removed that evening. The following day, it was discovered that she also had a jaw fracture and both orbits around her eyes were fractured due to blunt force trauma. It's taken months of restrictions and some kennel rest to allow her fractures to heal, but she's now a happy-go-lucky puppy who's ready for any adventure in a forever home. Whether we are working proactively on programs within our community or rescuing animals from an immediate crisis, our dedicated staff, volunteers, and fosters are ready and waiting to make a difference. We thank you for supporting our mission and giving so generously.